your lines for the columns. So the next step, which you kind of need to follow a bit more carefully with me, okay? I mistakenly created this, so yeah, okay. So you kind of need to follow me closely on this one. So if you still have that on the original line, you can bring it back or not. But in any case, I'm going to create one. So I'm going to create a line from the top view using my quads. So now I have this one line, and I can scale it using uniform scaling. No, let's start from this side. So I will just type in a line, and my starting line, I'll put it at 0. Yeah, okay, I'll put it at 0. And then the end of the line, I'll hold shift and then click to make sure that it's snapping on my 90 degrees. So now that I have this, I could just scale it up, longer. And then now it's about the calculation of how many curves we are going to need. Ideally, we need to rotate these curves, multiple times to create our shape. Yeah. So the rotation of 360 degrees, ideally when I calculated, the number of columns we have, they are 30 in number. So we need to divide this into 30 parts to get the number of columns that we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way to rotate this 30 times. So if you calculate the angle of 360 degrees, I'll bring up my calculator. So 360 degrees divided by 30, it's 12 degrees, right? So what we're going to do is at first, the first one, because if you look from the front view over here, you can see that, one of them is kind of halfway and it doesn't start from, the middle. But this starts from the middle, so this is the middle for this one. But then the ones on the other side, they are, so you can see here, this is kind of like the middle part. And so it means that, you have them offset at 6 degrees off. So what we're going to do, so the rotation is meant to be a copy. And so we would use that opportunity to make sure that our curve starts at the center so we avoid any problem. So I would actually just move this, and I should find the midpoint of the line. So mid is here. And then I would move it to 0.0. So now it's snapping at the 0 point. And then I would start with my rotate. So make sure copy is turned on. The center of rotation, ideally I would still enter 0 just for the sake of safety instead of finding it. And then I would snap using shift or snapping to this line, and then I would rotate first 6 degrees. The next one you want to do is it's basically 18 because ideally the increment between the 2 points is supposed to be 18. So why? Because when this starts, there's another one that's going to be here. So there will not be a column here. It's going to start from here, and then the next one from it is going to be 12 degrees apart. So the next one, we would do 6 plus 12, so 6 here plus 12, which is 18, because it's still using the original curve and not using this one to rotate. So 18. And now we do not want to have, I hope you didn't hear the siren, that's just such a pain. Yeah, so now the next one that we want to do is we're going to rotate this another 6 degrees again. Yeah, 12 degrees, sorry. So from this one, because we don't want to be calculating 6 plus 12 plus another one, 12. So all you can just do is just do your rotate and your center of rotation, you input 0, and then you choose this previous one, you know, as your reference point. But we're going to rotate this one. So I will just click on this, and then I would move this one, and then it will use the next one again and rotate the next one, and the next one, the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and so on. Keep going. Okay, so you can see I have reached halfway here. So the last one is going to be over here. So I'll just press escape now that I have all of them. Okay, so now what we want to do is to use these curves that you see here and project them onto this shape, okay, to create the shape that we're looking for of the columns, okay? So if you haven't joined this shape and this shape, you can join them now, okay? I'll just join them to become one open poly surface. So I just joined the top part of this, okay? And then now I'm going to select my curves. So take caution in the way I'm selecting my curves. I'm making sure I do not select this one, which is halfway, because we do not need it. So I will just use my rectangular selection, and from right to left, okay? So if you do it from left to right, you see it only selects what is inside of it. So if I do from left to right here, you see because everything is inside, it selects, you know? But for example, you see, because I do left to right, it will only select this curve because that's what's in between. Just like AutoCAD, if you know AutoCAD. So I will do from right to left, and I'll select somewhere here, select all these ones. So this is what I want to project, okay? So I will just select them and type in project. So what I want to project them onto is this surface, okay? If you want to be able to see, you know, the shape in, you know, there are different views in Rhino. So you could just check and see the one you want. But anyways, I'll just leave it at wireframe. You don't need to do that. So I selected my surface that I want to project onto, and then I did it from the top view just so I don't have any problems, because if I do it from the perspective view, it may give me something else, you see. It may not be very accurate. So just to avoid problems, it's best to just do it from the top view to make sure that everything is perfect. So project, like you can go back to the 3D view to select it, but go back to the top view and then do your projection. So project. So while the curves are still highlighted after pressing enter, I will do join just to make sure that, you know, they are together. So it says unable to join curves because, okay, it means that it's actually a proper joined curve and it's not separated. Sometimes if you do a projection, it may be separated from the edges. So thankfully it's not, so we're good. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is we would like to offset the curve that we have. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, now that I have this shape, I would like to do only 1/4. So as soon as I just do 1/4, all I need to do is rotate for the rest. Okay, it's very simple. Yeah,